Hello, hello. Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. I am Laura Lee.
And I am Helena, and today we are looking at the month ahead for December. So we're doing the December forecast, astrology forecast.
I know we say this, and I know people say this a lot, but seriously, this year, like, I blinked, and it went. It happened. It's done.
Yes, I also feel the opposite. But me and time, we don't really understand each other. So.
No. That's interesting. Your planet of time, Saturn, is in the 12th house. So that actually is such a great explanation of time for you. And it's right next to Uranus. You have that Saturn-Uranus conjunction in your chart.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so I've been talking about this. Yeah.
Time would be weird for you.
I had a discussion with a friend about this today, and yeah, of course, this is such a quick, fast way to see it in astrology. Yes.
Yeah.
Saturn in the 12th house.
I really love it.
That's it.
When people will say something and my brain sees their chart and goes, well, yeah, of course that would be that way for you.
Yes.
Duh, it's right there, right?
And you feel silly because you're like, oh, I should, yeah, you saw that before I did, but okay, that's fine.
It's also in your 12th house of like not easy to see stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So it's confusing. It's like locked in the closet somewhere back there. It's Saturn's in there somewhere. I'll find my time somewhere.
No, I don't bother too much with time.
No. And it's been actually quite nice for you and I with the podcast to be able to have that flexibility with time because we both really need it with our lifestyles and how we function.
Yep.
It's probably the one thing that's been allowing us to keep the podcast going is the flexibility of time.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, here we are recording the last forecast for the year.
Yes.
And that makes me feel a lot of things. Yeah.
What's the top thing that comes up?
The top thing that comes up is a bit of a like, oh, is it already over? Sort of feeling. Mm-hmm. Like there's more to do.
Yes.
I have lots of things to do. It's just one month. But this is the thing about like year, the new year and stuff. Like not much happens when we go over to the next year in my world. Like this but there's a whole big countdown and everything. And I think that, I don't know, it's just become a big fun holiday, but it's not really the end.
Right.
Of it. Like when you think about it, it's not really the end. Like the end time is Pisces season.
Exactly. Yes.
When it goes over to Aries, that's the end time. And that feels accurate.
For me too.
That feels great for me. It's slow. You're in your dream world. So now, maybe that stresses me out that everyone's like, it's the end. It's like, oh, is it the end? The end of what? Do I have time to finish my things?
Because you and I function in a different energetics than this 3D world, right? We function more in the flow of the planets and all of that, where if you look at New Year's and New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, it's just a random thing. Like there's not really, and it's not even on like the winter solstice or anything. It's just a random day. It's just totally random.
It was actually made up by this Pope Gregorius. That's what it's called, like the Gregorian calendar.
Oh, that's right.
So Gregorius something made up. I don't know for what reason he made this up, but for some reason, and he called it his name. So it is not taken from nature. It's not taken from the cycles. It's taken from some sort of Christian thing.
Yeah. So it does make sense that it feels a little stressful, especially that it happens in Capricorn season. And I'm like, but it's literally...
We have so much work. It's work time.
We're in the middle of work. Why would we celebrate right now?
We can't take a break.
It's like the least celebratory energy. And we throw New Year's and Christmas right in this Capricorn.
But then again, how are these are the holidays that are the most traditional.
Yep.
Like Christmas, you can never break the rules. We always do this in the morning, and then at 2 we always go there, and we always see those people. that's super Capricorn, like keeping to the structure. Like it's not loosey goosey so much. It's more like, but you promise we always do this for Christmas. You have to be there. We have to cook your specific something.
Yeah.
It's very much.
If you're very traditional rule breaker like me, it really feels uncomfortable to continue to celebrate these traditional things that for me there's no weight to them. I don't particularly celebrate the Christian belief of Jesus's birthday at this time. I don't particularly celebrate the winter solstice at that. It's just there's a whole bunch of traditional things that my personal ethics just don't align with. Like it's just not a thing for me. So in my mind, I would love to like go take a holiday vacation, right? Like I'd love to be the person that just goes away and doesn't do the traditional thing. And I've broken away a little bit here and there, but it's that Capricorn just reels me in.
Oh yeah, because then comes the guilt. If you try and do something different, the Capricorn guilt comes in like, oh, but are you gonna?
It's strong.
Oh, but it's gonna be so sad. But what about? It's gonna be the last Christmas that we do.
Thank you for putting words to that. Especially my mom and my husband share a Capricorn birthday 2 days before Christmas, so it's very strong in my family. And if it were up to me, I'd say screw it to all of it, but it's not.
You know what we should do? We should go for like a work trip next Capricorn season and just use the Capricorn energy to just get some solid foundation in work.
I love that. I love it. We need to plan that.
But you know what? It probably makes a lot of sense. I think Christmas is what keeps a lot of families together.
I agree.
And that's what Capricorn does as well. Like Capricorn is so good with the with the sturdiness and the solid foundations.
And the shame and guilt.
Is tied into it. But I'm sure a lot of families would never meet if they didn't celebrate Christmas, because that might be the only time or like the second time per year that they do see each other.
Yeah, you're right.
That's also very Capricorn.
It does fit, doesn't it? And it's interesting how much the media plays into it, right? The structure of the traditional stuff with this is how you have to get your candy and you have to do your sweets and you have to, right? The food and there's just so much that the movies play into it and the media plays into it.
Same songs.
Oh my goodness. It is. We are not escaping this holiday in this planet for a while.
Yeah, no. And what about like going into seasons? Like now, we're in Sag season, and everyone's super optimistic and like just thinking that there's no tomorrow, and not taking responsibility for anything. But with Black Friday, Black Week, Cyber Monday, like all of these things are driving me. It's just driving me nuts. And like just seeing this, I'm just seeing in my inner world like there's mountains of products that just pile up everywhere because people are just spending so much money, like very Sag, very just like, let's buy all of it,
Again, with your Saturn-Uranus conjunction in Sagittarius, yes, you need to change the traditional way of this expression of joy, right? Like you can be joyful and you can celebrate, but why do we have to be so consumer? Right? It's the consumerism part that really, I feel like that 12th house energy for you really kind of gets you down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Christmas. I think it's cozy and it's nice to get gifts for my loved ones, but I would love it if everyone spent more time into their gifts and more effort, like they can make something, they can get something pre-owned.
This is why we're friends right here.
Yep.
I just had a text message with my brothers, and my older brother wanted to change it up a little bit this year, and he's like, hey, what if we did a gift exchange? And I was like, oh, and it like immediately felt wrong in my body. And there's multiple reasons for it, but I was trying to put words to like, how do I word this nicely? And I was like, hey man, I'm struggling. I'm still not 2 years postpartum with my youngest. I'm still lost in like baby toddler getting screamed at everyday land. I'm tired all the time. Gift giving is not my love language, like at all. I like doing it when it's something, like you said, something I make or something that I can just give from the heart because I want to, not because this holiday dictates that I have to. And so I had to say no in a kind way, but align with me. And like, that is not something that will work for me to do this particular way of gift giving this year, because frankly, I'm relying very heavy on my Capricorn husband to help with the gift giving. It's what he's good at. And we've been doing these lovely like food homemade gift baskets that we bake bread and stuff and we put it all together. And that feels very like my whole family can contribute. The kids can do stuff. And it's just a gift from all of us, like you said, that we make. Whereas if we do the name exchange, then I have one person and I feel like now I have to go buy something for this one person. And like it changes the energy and the energetics. And I was just not in a headspace where I could handle that. And I had to say no to my lovely brother, his Taurus sun, Cap moon, Cap rising self. Very difficult to say no to. And I was like, maybe we can address this or do this next year. But like this year, I just can't. I just can't. And it felt good once I sent it. But man, those traditional folks, they sure can.
You know what? Like Christmas is sort of like a hot potato. So I don't know, there's going to be lots of people listening that will not agree with what we're saying at all, which is totally fine. We're all different. Yeah, just today I just told Laura, just before that I just deleted Instagram because it's so much, everyone's just selling something and it's selling for nothing. So it's just like, and that makes you think, if you can make this that cheap, does that mean that the value is that low? And how come then that you're not always selling it at that value?
Right.
Then you feel a little anyway, this is just my Capricorn side coming out also. I get a little sus.
Yeah. No, I get very, I think this for me values, my value system in Aquarius in the 10th house. So I got some Capricorn there, right? And I struggle with the consumerism big time. I really, really do. I always have. And I've almost always tried to make gifts or, put some, usually it's an art something or food something, because that to me is my love language, is acts of service or time with, right? That's where I really feel like I'm giving from my heart authentically. Whereas just going out and buying something, I start to have issues with, hey, where was this made? How was this made? Were the people who made it paid well? Because what's the energy behind it? Like there's a lot of unethical businesses and business practices, and I don't want to support it just because it's Christmas and I have to get this for my so-and-so cousin or whatever, right? So for me, that's definitely an ethical thing. The consumerism becomes an ethical thing. The waste, the plastic, like it's all stuff we have to change in our society. And then we've got this traditional structure of this holiday that like refuses to budge, refuses. And I'm over here going, I don't want to participate this way anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So I think Pluto and Aquarius the next couple of years is going to be shaking us up in this department. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see how that affects the Capricorn traditions of of December, late December and January. So what is December starting off with? Well, speaking of the devil, we got Venus in Capricorn, and she is trine to Uranus in Taurus on December 2nd. So we got some Cappy energy to start the month. What's going on with those two? How kind of conversation are they having?
Yes. So yeah, Venus in Capricorn is very much like what we just talked about. Like the value, our value system is placed in a sign that is like, wants to be efficient, thinking about the structure, like, also very much tradition. So our value system is sort of based in that tradition and structure world right now. Having this trine, which is like an easy flowing conversation, to Uranus, a planet of disruption, in Taurus, a sign that also is about values.
Yeah.
So maybe we're going to be changing up our values a lot around this day, rethinking
the way we spend money, right? Venus is money, and Taurus tends to be our values around money or saving or spending. So this looks like maybe changing up the way you do your Christmas shopping this year, maybe doing something different where you can still show your value that you love and care for someone with that Venus in Cap, but changing Uranus in Taurus. Let's change the way we show that value and show our love and show our loyalty and commitment.
Yeah. I love it when Venus and Uranus have conversations, because I feel like Uranus sometimes, like Pluto, gets a little bit of a bad, like you get a little scared of these planets, like, oh, what are they gonna fuck up now, you know?
Right?
But here we have Venus, such a lovely, sweet little planet, combined with this Uranus, like, and Uranus also brings unexpected things. Could be like a meeting with a friend you haven't seen in years, or like maybe you meet a new friend and you connect really, really well, and you have this amazing friendship, or maybe you will, I don't know, meet your next like a lover, or you make you have the best business idea. Like Uranus also brings this fast, like lightning bolts things into your life.
I can see this too with a sudden new way of bringing in income, right? Like suddenly maybe you get a new client, or you have a new form of income or a new stream of income with Venus and Capricorn. So we've got our hard work with Capricorn, and we've got the way we bring in money with Venus. And then of course, Uranus and Taurus is changing stuff up. So that could be a new adventure with income or business potential for sure that day as well. Yeah. December 2nd. Yep. What a great start to the month.
Yeah, and I also want to say, before we go further into the month, that we are in a Mercury retrograde period right now. That started on last Monday.
Yep.
I think it was on the 25th of November. So you guys have probably started feeling it. I have been feeling it a lot. So Mercury retrograde is when Mercury looks like it's going backwards in the sky. Mercury is our mind. It's how we process information. It's how we communicate. It's also like transport systems. Could be your car also. Everything that has to do with communication, like your phone, the internet, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yes. So when Mercury looks like it's going backwards, this means that all of these themes sort of get like like stop working.
Yeah. A little bit, it's almost like your computer has too many tabs open and you need to, shut them down and shut the computer down and let it rest for a minute and then turn it back on. That's kind of how I view a retrograde. It's like you got to take a moment and go through your tabs and close your stuff and go through your paperwork and like get rid of some stuff, right? Like clean out your operating system so your brain functions better. Yeah.
Yes. Like it's all about just wanting us to, reboot. So take a step back, shut down that computer that isn't working anymore anyway, and maybe you think like this is what I'm trying to do now when this has happened to me for the last couple of days. When something is not working in the way I want to work, I take a breath and I think, I guess I wasn't supposed to do that now anyway.
Right.
Right.
Yes. I felt interestingly this past weekend I was just literally checked out of my life in a weird way, where I started using my chainsaw and cutting everything I could, like bushes and shrubs and stuff I've been meaning to get rid of.
Fun.
I literally just took them all out, like took it out, took them down, gave my whole house, everything is gone, gave it a massive haircut. My husband comes home, he goes, now what? I was like, I don't know, but I cleared the space for something. And I was burning stuff all day, and I was like burning old wood and just cleaning up my yard. And it felt amazing to just be like checked out of everything. Yeah. And then I fell asleep and I slept and I slept and I slept and I slept. And I was like, wow, what a reset to like take stuff out, burn a bunch of stuff, and then just knock yourself out unconsciously sleeping. And
yes,
it was phenomenal reset. And I think that my brain did that reboot system exactly.
Yep.
Like whether I wanted it to or not was irrelevant.
Yeah.
I had to do it.
So Mercury is going to be going backwards until December 15, I think it is. And then for a couple of days, it's going to start to move direct again, going forward. And then for a few days after, it will be in the retro shade. And then we'll be in the clear again. Things will be easier to do and everything. But during this time when Mercury is retrograde, just learn to love it.
Yep.
Learn to love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's after that? We've got December 4th. The sun is hanging out in Sag, as we know, and that's going to be square to Saturn.
Mm.
Saturn's in Pisces, and this is where we have to be mindful of the authority figures in our life, the government, our bosses, just the people in our life. We have to be mindful of the illusions or the delusions or the intangible things that they're saying to us or telling us, right? And so when
Yeah, yeah, like this. Yeah.
the sun in Sagittarius and is kind of square to that. So I feel like we have some optimism, and we've got that's where the sun in Sag is so optimistic. But then we've got Saturn in Pisces over here, where we have to be really mature about what we're really taking in. Like, what are they telling us, and is that actually honestly true? So when they're square, this could be a tough day to be around any kind of authority figures, whether it's your family or your boss or teenagers. Like, just kind of make sure that you recognize there's tension. This is a tension filled day. Write that on your calendar, December 4th. This is tension between like your outer energy, right? The sun is kind of how you see the world and how you identify and that kind of will and vitality. And then Saturn is your maturity. So we've got to focus on letting go of judgment and old belief systems and really just kind of focus on your own happiness for that day, for sure.
Yeah.
I
I also I see it as I think you said it like, you know, Saturn in Pisces being somewhat of an authoritative person, but you know, sort of like, why is this person an authority? Like it might be an illusion. That's very Pisces. And oh, I lost my train of thought. Yes, so but the sun is in Sag, so we are super optimistic and it's like, okay, yes, yeah, I'll do that. That sounds good. And I feel like this could be two people where one is the sun in Sag, being just optimistic, like the good student, and then one is the Saturn in Pisces, just an authoritative person, but you know, may not have real grounds for being an authoritative person to you.
Yes.
And sort of maybe and like should be just be careful who you listen to and who you take orders from, or like follow your own mind. Be careful not to, you know, just get dissolved in someone else's rules and ideas for you, because it's a square. It's a square.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. This feels like a day where we would encounter people who are telling us to do something because that's how they say you have to do it. And then you're like, but wait a minute, who are you to tell me to do that? Actually, I don't actually think you have that authority to say such and such or tell me to do such and such. It feels very much like there's going to be people stepping in to say you have to. And your job is to go, I actually don't. I don't. Yeah. So December 4th, just be kind of mindful of that. And because teenagers are really having a lot of Saturn energy going on, be aware that this could be showing up with your teens and them being the ones kind of in that questiony energy, or this just might be a tension-filled day with teenagers. Just December 4th.
It will be tension with people, with yourself. It will, it's not so comfortable when Sun and Saturn. Yeah. Exactly.
And then that same day, Venus, still hanging out in Capricorn, is having a sextile conversation with Neptune in Pisces. So this is one of those like easy conversations that are just, you almost don't even know it's happening. It's just so easy. So we have to lean into the energy of that Venus Neptune versus the Sun square Saturn on December 4th.
Yeah, I would say that when you're feeling that tension, it's like this is like a comfortable chair to lean back into with that. Venus. Yeah, with Venus and Neptune, because you know, with Neptune in Pisces, you do have access to your to, you know, with it being a sextile, Venus is your values, Neptune is your intuition. So you will have a connection there with you between your values and your intuition. And so just lean back into that, take a step back, you know, away from this tension between ego and authority. And just, you know, sink into like, oh, but what are my values? What's my inner world saying? What's going on in there? You know?
So I just did a reading for a friend last night, and she actually December 4th was a day that kind of came up in her chart, and I told her to kind of take note of it because it's a big day every year for her, and with the sun coming on top of her natal Pluto. So we were talking about this, and one of the things that I had kind of prescribed my astro prescription was for her to really lean into art and treat art as a discipline that needs to be worked into her daily routines, and that art that she chooses is going to be the flow space to kind of allow all the angsty thoughts and everything to kind of settle. And this is, I'm looking at the transits going, this is actually perfect day for her to start doing this kind of process. Is Sun in Sag is square to Saturn. So we've got Saturn is like that authority figure on our shoulders going, are you sure we're supposed to be doing this? Do you really think this is practical? This doesn't feel practical. But the sun in Sagittarius is going, no, this is what the astrology lady told me to do. We're supposed to do this now. We have to go do our art. And then Venus in Capricorn, we're working on hard on valuing a new foundation. And then Neptune in Pisces is really intuitively tuning in to our own artistry, our own flow, and our own intuition. So shout out to Willow. I hope she's listening because this is a great day for her to implement that shift she needs to make for the long term with implementing art and whatever. And December 4th is like a great day to actually take a step and do something like that if that's what you need in your life, right? Whatever shift you need to make with your values and the flow of your own energy, December 4th is a good day to implement. I like that. I actually was just thinking to I was thinking to myself in my journal. I was journaling that I personally know that I have to implement daily yoga and daily meditation. It is like non-negotiable anymore. And I've been hearing it, and Reiki people been telling me, the spirit's been dropping messages. I feel like December 4th is a really good like day to be like, this is what is taking place from now on, right? Really using that Saturn square sun to work positively, to be mature about these changes and these new things we're taking on. So
yes, because like you have taught me to see squares is like squares are like you never go to the gym and then you go to the gym for the first time ever and oh my God, it's so uncomfortable and everything hurts.
yeah,
But when you start going to the gym more regularly, when you
build up that resistance, you build up that
yes,
tolerance. Yeah.
you get big muscles and it gets easy.
Yeah.
So this is squares are just about working out those muscles that are not usually worked out
Yeah.
at.
December 4th, big day for some productive shifts in your flow of energy and the way you value the flow of your energy. Good day. All right. What's happening next after that? December 6th.
December.
What's going on?
Well, Mars is now deciding to start moving backwards. So Mars will start its journey retrograding in the sign of Leo that Mars is in right now. So yeah, Mars is all about it's our drive. It can also be like quite like me focused because it's similar energy to Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. It's like myself. So it can also be a little ego, based. Like when you're very driven, you often think about yourself.
Yes.
You want to go ahead, you want to get somewhere. And now this planet is moving backwards.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is taking a big piece of a humble pie.
Ego hit, right? This feels like you ever watch those like funniest home videos where like the guy is playing baseball with his kid and he gets hit in the crotch with a baseball bat. This is kind of what I'm feeling like, where it's not like you don't get taken out completely, but it is definitely that humble pie, right? Where you're like, you were just playing. I was just playing.
Yeah.
Mars in Leo I was just playing. And then you get hit in the crotch.
Yep.
So not that it's going to be that dramatic, but it might. It might. This is definitely a time where we have to work on some inner growth. We have to work on like taking some deep breaths, and maybe something does get in the spotlight instead of us, and we have to step back. We didn't win the award. We got runner up, and we were like, oh
Yes, yes, like your ego gets a hit.
Mhm.
And Mars would be retrograde for the last or for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And like with when we were talking about Mercury retrograde, how it's your mind, your the communication sort of going backwards or like seems to be going backwards. Now this is our drive we're talking about, also doing the same thing, like wah, starting to rewind. So
Mhm.
maybe we're gonna be bumping into things that from the past that we things that used to be like we used to get driven by, or things that we
Yep.
used to maybe get frustrated with, because that's also Mars, and then we need to re-evaluate those things.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. Now
retrograde is all about re.
this retrograde is going to go all the way back into Cancer. It's going to actually go direct at 17 degrees
Wow.
Cancer. And so it will go all the way until February
Oh,
24th. So if you
when
have
is it heading into Cancer?
it
What
looks like
do you
that.
see the date?
Yep, that is January 4th.
Okay, because I predict something then around patriotism. Mars
Mm,
being a drive, Cancer is, very patriotic,
yeah.
and then Mars going back here,
Okay.
going backwards. I feel that there's going to be a topic, like that topic is going to be brought up, something around, uh,
Well,
my country, uh, you know,
yeah. So
protecting.
we were just
Mm,
talking about this. So your country actually just got flyers sent to you about like how to prepare for war and things like
yeah.
that. So Sweden just did that. And we have our the election already happened, but January is when the president gets sworn in. And
Yeah.
that's when it will be Mars will be retrograde in Cancer during the swearing in. So that'll be very interesting. Talk about patriotic. That'll be really
Mm,
interesting to just kind of be aware of what's going on with Mars's pullback, right? It's almost like your
mm,
teenager's heading out the door and you're like, wait a minute. And you grab them by the sweatshirt and
mm,
go, I can see your ass under those shorts. Can you go put something else on? And they don't like that. They don't like that. So they get, real ego energy, blah, 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 right? There's just
mm.
this can't tell me what to do kind of energy that comes with this. So this will be really interesting. Really interesting.
Yes, because I know that this also has been, in the States, you have been talking a lot about uh, women's choice, of their own body, and
Yep.
that's been a big topic.
Yeah.
And I feel like, cancer is also very
Women's
much the
issues. Yes.
mother babies, so
Yes.
I'm thinking, how is this going to affect the outcome of uh like passing laws, or like
Yeah.
taking away laws,
And it
like
goes all the way
I don't
back to
know.
17 degrees Cancer. That's almost the middle of the sign, right?
Mm,
It really goes back quite a ways into Cancer. So,
yeah.
once it turns around and kind of heads back out and goes forward again, we'll see some forward movement and momentum and things. But it should be very interesting
Mm,
2025. That's for sure. So that will happen
yeah.
December 6th. So try to just recognize that this is an opportunity for reflection and inner growth. And if you feel that humble pie kind of coming up, take some breaths, go for a walk, get physically active. Mars needs to move. So whether you need to go for a
Mm,
walk or go take a shower and douse some of the heat, right? Whatever you have to do, really, really lean into the humbleness of it and check your ego at the door because he will be activated. He
mm,
or she. Yep.
yep. And on the same day, actually, Venus is entering Aquarius.
Yes.
Yeah. So then now our values will be centered more around community
Mm,
and new
yeah.
ideas.
I love Venus in Aquarius. This is my
Interesting.
natal
Yeah.
placement. I love this. I love this. I love this.
Ah, of course you have this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's my favorite.
Nice.
It's really
Yeah.
where like you can if you've been looking to grow your friend circle or your community, or really like expand into a new community where you're like, I think I want to join that, spirit sacred fire thing, but I'm not sure. This is a great time and a great season to do those things. If there's been something weird that's been catching your eye, but you feel a little uncomfortable, wait until after December 6th. And
Yeah.
then Venus moving into Aquarius, I promise you, will help you be more of a weirdo. It'll be
And
great.
what about the day after on the 7th? Because then Venus will be conjunct Pluto in Aquarius.
Mm-hmm. So that does look like change your friendship circle, right? Like try a new community. Dip your toes into, maybe this gathering where we celebrate, the solstice or the moon or something you haven't done. Do something new and
Mm.
join a group or thing that is a community that's really got goals that are focused on making things better,
Mm.
being more harmonious, but not like ignoring the shadow parts and not, la, 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 all love and light. That's not it, but more authentic. Of course, we have to have authenticity when we're talking about Aquarius. We have to. So, honoring your own need to be authentic within an authentic community is really what Venus and Aquarius is asking you to do,
Mm.
and to keep searching until you find that community. I'm 42 now and I'm creating my own community because I kept trying to find it and I was like, well, that didn't work. I'll just make my own weirdos here. I'll invite them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a
Yeah.
great time for you to really expand that social connection and social circle in a new way, especially with that Pluto conjunction.
Yeah. But if you comfortable and happy with your friends and you might have that community already, this is also a great day to do something new together, like dive. Pluto lets you dive deeper, so
Yeah.
you can still do that within your friends group if you're you know but like you said, like it feels like we're in a time of searching
Yes.
a lot right now, but a lot of people are starting to also to find, I think.
Mhm.
So you might have some friends that you feel share the same values as you do.
Mhm.
And then this is a great time to dive deeper with them.
And by all means, connect with friends online. Like what we're doing right
Yeah.
now, this is a
Mm.
weirdo Venus Aquarius thing right here, right? Having
Mm.
friends from other countries that you've never met in real life that you meet with every week, that's such a Venus Aquarius thing. So recognize that that's kind of what Pluto's asking you to do as well, is like maybe you are a really busy mom and you can't, meet with your friends in real life like you used to. Well, that's what FaceTime is for, or that's what Zoom is for, or, figure out new ways to utilize technology to still stay in touch, or create, friend connections. And then also on December 7th, Ceres, our dwarf planet, same size as Pluto, is entering into Aquarius as well. So this is the asteroid we look to for how we take care of ourselves, how we nurture
Mm.
and nourish our body, nourish our spirit, nourish our heart and our soul. So this is really important that we honor Aquarian energy this first week here, the 6th, 7th, 8th, that energy time frame. Make sure you're reaching out to all your buddies online and getting in your groups. If it's been a while since you've been in your online group space, use this to go back into it, because Ceres needs that. She needs to have that
Mm.
new connection or those new perspectives that you can only get when you're chatting with Sweden. Right?
Yep.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. So 6th and 7th, a pretty big day. What else is going on? Oh, 7th is another. There's a whole bunch going on the 7th. Wow.
Yes.
Holy
The
moly.
sun on the 7th, the sun in Sagittarius also will be right opposite to Jupiter in Gemini. And oppositions are more uncomfortable because you can feel that the push-pull sort of feeling. And this is about Sun and Jupiter. And Sun is, it's our like life force, very self-centered. It's us. And then Jupiter is very gregarious and
Yes.
very just like optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Let's
Um,
have fun. Let's learn. Let's try new things. Let's go skydiving today. Why not? Well,
mm,
because I didn't plan it out. But yeah, but okay, right. It's Jupiter just is the party and learning and trying new things, learning a new philosophy, but really, really optimistic energy. But it almost feels
mm,
like it's optimistic in like you said, that push pull way.
mm.
We've got Sag, which is optimistic. We got Jupiter, which is optimistic, but it can almost feel like you've got too many things. Maybe you've got two parties you were invited to, or maybe you've got, I don't know, just you're trying to squeeze too much in. And this is what it feels like. You're optimistic
Yeah,
around how much you can
overextending.
get done. Yes, this feels
Mm.
overextended. Mm-hmm.
And
Don't think.
also foot in the mouth because Sun in Sagittarius is known for being blunt. I love Sag energy and it's very just says what it thinks. And
Well,
then
Gemini's not much better.
hmm, was gonna say a bit of a flappy mouth going on there. So you might be, blunt about you have your blunt feelings and thoughts, and then you might be like blabbery about them,
Yeah.
like maybe even gossipy. Maybe this
Mm.
is just like Jessica Laniel says, no day is good for gossiping, but this is an even worse day for gossiping.
This is like when the
Gossiping is never
gossip
good, but
would get leaked or something, right? Where like
yeah,
Jupiter
it's
and
just not going to
Gemini
be
is
good.
not going to keep a secret, you guys. Okay, Jupiter and Gem
Yeah.
just no. First of all,
Nope.
you don't know which twin you're talking to, okay? And that
Yeah.
twin is going to tell the other twin, and that twin's going to go tell her, and then she's going to tell it. No, no. Do not gossip. Do not call your mom to talk about your brother. Do not call your brother to talk about your sister-in-law. Don't do it. Don't engage in the gossip.
In gossip.
Don't do
Do
it.
not.
That's a great
Do
advice
not.
for December 7th. Really great.
Oh my God. One more for this day.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing. And this one you mentioned before we hit record.
Yep. We've got Neptune going direct in Pisces. So Neptune's been hanging out retrograde for a while, a couple months. And so now he's turning around
Mm.
and going forward again. So this can be a much better flow of all of the energies, all of the dreams, all of the compassionate, nurturing energies, the healing, the kindness. It was retrograde and it was pulled back for a while, and now we can kind of move forward again with that compassion and that spirit. And
Mm. And Neptune moves so slowly. It's the second slowest in our solar system after Pluto. So it's gonna be still hanging out in Pisces until March 2026.
yeah, 26. Yep.
Yeah. And we should do an episode about that because that's also a big shift in globally.
The global energy for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But that is we still have some time until
Mhm.
that
Right.
happens.
Right. So December 7th, well, first of all, let's recap. The 6th, we've got Venus is entering into Aquarius. We have Mars is going retrograde in Leo. And then those two things are happening the 6th. And then right after the 7th, we've got Ceres, our nurturance planet, moving into Aquarius. And then we've got Venus conjunct Pluto. And then we've got the Sun in Sag opposite to Jupiter. And Neptune is going to turn around and go direct. So if you guys want to just put on your calendar December 6th and 7th, just breathe a lot and recognize there's a lot of energy happening in the sky, and it's not bad, it's just a lot. It feels chaotic a little bit because there's so much going on, and so much is moving into Aquarius, which is chaos. And then of course you walk into chaos, and then Pluto's right there going, hey,
I've been waiting for you.
you guys ready? Let's go deep. So you don't just get to kind of usher in the door of Aquarius. You go in and you immediately fall into the depths of Aquarius. Pluto's just immediately brings you into the real reality and intensity of Aquarius. So
yeah, that's very well put. It would be seeing a real reality with Pluto there, showing us on a community level,
because you're exiting tradition, right? You're walking out of Capricorn, where you just had your turkey and you just had your lasagna, whatever your tradition is, and you're walking out with a full belly, and you're like, okay, let's go check out this door, and you go into Aquarius, and then Pluto just grabs you and throws you down into the reality and depth and intense power of the transformative, revolutionary energy Aquarius brings. So really any planet that's going to be entering into Aquarius here the next couple of months is going to get this Pluto fuckery.
Yeah, like an initiation into Aquarius.
Major initiation. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting 6th and 7th of December. Then we have a couple days where we can breathe. Everybody breathe. Then the 12th.
Until.
Until the 12th, when Venus, again, hanging out in Aquarius, is going to go opposite to that retrograded Mars in Leo. So this could be some interesting sexual tension because we got Mars and Venus involved. Really interesting.
Yeah, and because tension, like, tension can also be nice.
Mhm.
Like it's a tension in opposition, but
Mhm.
tension can what's it called? Like you can have a flame from
Yes.
tension. Like it can be a
Yeah,
spark.
that spark.
Mm.
So the energy will be really intense, really almost tangible between our sensuality and our sexuality, between our values and between our passion and our drive. So
Mm.
which one is going to win that day, I don't know, but the idea with an opposition is to kind of learn to come together in the come together in the middle. This is a great sentence. Is to learn to dance together in the middle and learn to use the energy in more of that playful dance instead of like the seesaw back and forth energy.
Yeah.
So the opposition can be very playful if you learn how to dance, or it can
If you
feel
can
like,
all just come together in the middle,
yep, that's it.
that's just perfect.
That was great. I love that. Oh, so fun. So that's December 12th. So we have a little bit of, dancing going on there. And then we have another couple days of breather. Mercury's, of course, doing all kinds of stuff. He's always dancing around. But the big one happening then is December 15th. We have our full moon in Gemini. Do you know the degree this is happening at?
I do not.
I'll have to look. 23 degrees? I think it's 23 degrees.
I was just kicked out of the internet.
You do not get to find out the degree. So it's
No.
later degree Sag, later degree Gemini. So if you have anything at those around those numbers,
What degree did you say it was?
23. I think it's 23.
Oh, I have my Venus on 22.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. So this will be affecting you for sure. Even if like my rising sign is 19 degrees Gemini, so I'll definitely be feeling this. So wherever you've got stuff within a couple degrees of that orb, or of course the squares, pay attention to those, right? So we've got to be aware of where your natal placements are whenever there's a full moon, because it affects us. We are very watery people. We're very, fluidy people that really get intensely affected by the full moon. So what's going to happen with this full moon? What do you think?
So a full moon is always that energy of sort of your feelings are bubbling up to the surface. Like we're just very, very feeling based on around full moons. Like very easily, we react to things. That's what the moon is all about, reaction, and the moon is full and like lighting up all of our feelings and emotions, and it can cause us to feel triggered. So full moons are usually a day also when there's actually more crime. There's more like injuries happening because people are just impulsive and like reactive on this day. Lunatic.
Yeah.
Yes, emotional. And in Gemini, people are gonna be saying a lot of things that are on their minds.
A lot of everything. They're gonna say the words. That's what they're gonna do.
And have a lot of there's gonna be a lot of big mental processing. There's gonna be a lot of feeling about what you're thinking about. Like your mind and your feeling is gonna be like in a big whirlwind, because Gemini moves pretty fast also, and full moons are very activating. So this day, I would suggest to really try and focus on like calming yourself, like grounding into the Gemini energy, because Gemini is also great for, communication, having good ideas.
Yeah.
But it can get a little overstimulated up here.
Yes. As someone with a Gemini moon natally, the solution I have found is just speak it out, right? Speak it out to a safe loved one or your journal, or if you get it out in words, it doesn't matter how crazy it sounds or how logical it is. It's got to come out. The words have to come out of you, whether it's poetry. I don't care if you turn on blasting music and sing it out of you, but typically there's got to be words that come out from your heart space. So if you have a loved one or a notebook you can pour yourself into verbally or through words written, it helps you to then understand the feelings. It's the intellectual understanding of the feelings, but typically you don't understand the feelings until they come out with words. And then you go, oh, wow, right. I did not know I felt that way. Holy man. So
it's so true.
It's an intense full moon for people who are not used to this kind of verbal processing. Welcome.
Pointing at myself.
Welcome to my world. It's okay. You got this. This is also, though, nice. I think a phenomenal time where we get clarity around these deep emotions. And it's the last full moon of the year. What a great time to get clarity and really understand the year. And, we're only 4 years out from, well, essentially 3 years out from when the world went crazy, right? And so we're starting to get perspective on when Rona happened and things were shut down. And it takes time before we can really understand all of the repercussions of the changes and things that we've gone through and the changes that have taken place in our life. So this would actually be a great full moon to just kind of go back and do a review of the last couple years and what's really shifted for you in your world the last couple years and how that's affected you emotionally or mentally or physically or your friends, right? Gemini is very friendship oriented. So it maybe even analyzing the friends you've lost or the friends you've made and all of that community energy too.
Yeah. Definitely like get yourself, spend time with a trusted friend or like your trusted diary and let your thoughts and emotions come out.
For sure.
Bless.
All right. So after the full moon, Mercury goes direct that same day. So we've got the full moon in Gemini, and then Mercury's like, hey,
oh my God, that makes sense.
I've given you enough of a headache and enough, Mars is retrograde. Well, you got enough humble pie. All right, fine. I'll go straight again. So just in time for us to travel, right? Holiday travels, all that. So
yeah, that's so interesting. Like, Mercury retrograde, we're all like in the past, processing the past, and then it goes direct the same day we have the full moon in Gemini, so we can just talk about everything that we have been thinking about and like reevaluating.
It really feels aligned. I love when the planets like support each other. Like, hey, you do this, I do this, and then all the people can process the things. Cool. Yay.
Yes.
Good. So Mercury is going direct on that same day. So December 15th. It's a pretty big day. You guys circle that. Give yourself time, friendship time, time with a loved one, time with your journal. Make sure that there's time planned in there. And then December 18th, a couple days later, what's going on? Sun is still in Sag, but this is going to be square to that Neptune and Pisces now. So we've got a square energy, but I think square energies between Sag and Pisces are actually probably not the worst squares. I feel like they're actually quite easier to deal with because of the optimism of Sag and then like the flowiness of Pisces. Does that make sense?
But but also it's Sun and Neptune, so it's vitality and then the thing that pokes holes in vitality and just lets it seep out and wants you to sleep. Like this day, if you can, stay home and sleep.
Take a nap.
Yes, like not joking. You're gonna be feeling very tired. And don't get super optimistic and go out like Christmas shopping or something crazy like Sun and Sad want you to do. No, you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be sleepy.
That's true. The Sun and Sag may be too optimistic about your energy levels and that, I got a couple more things to do. I'll just run out and do it. And then all of a sudden you get to the store and you have no energy to even go in because took you 20 minutes to find a parking spot and you just can't. And now you're crying in the car because you don't know why you don't have any energy to go in and you've wasted your whole day, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just stay home and chill.
Yeah.
If you can.
This is a home and chill day, December 18th. Put it on your calendar. Don't go out shopping and try to do too much. Make sure you are resting. But yes, you will be optimistic about some of the stuff you can try and do. So
yeah,
don't do it. Venus in Aquarius is talking to us again the next day, December 19th. And she's going to be having a lovely trine to Jupiter and Gemini. I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, Venus,
This
Jupiter
feels very.
trines.
This is like a Laura Lee Lotto super love bundle. Like this
I
is just like these planets, these signs. It's just screaming Laura Lee.
It really is, isn't it? I love that super love bundle.
Mm.
Oh, this is such a perfect vibe for friendship and hanging out and talking and connecting and talking about all the weird shit, all of the weird. Like, let's talk about the future stuff and let's talk about love and let's talk about just anything. This is very much exciting, active, mental chatting. So, if you took a nap on the day before, then you'll be revived and feel recharged the next day to be able to just talk and hang and just enjoy your friends, enjoy your lovers, enjoy the people. This is really enjoy people energy.
Yeah, definitely. And also like maybe this is a great day also communicating
Oh yeah.
around new places of value. Like what value our values need to change on this planet. So and
Yep.
they have
Yep.
been for a while and they keep changing. So this is a great day to get together and like discuss and get maybe not make decisions, but maybe brainstorm
Brainstorm
ideas
ideas.
around how to get this going, how to um, you know um, put more force into your community, or how you
Mm-hmm.
can help each other, find new solutions.
Just like when we opened the podcast, we were talking about the traditions and the Capricorn and like the things that are staying the same. But you and I both are like, this really does need to shift. The consumerism, the amount of plastics, just all of that. December 19th is a great day to have these discussions and to talk about how we could change the tradition a little bit and make it a little bit more forward thinking, or how next year maybe we don't use plastic silverware and we use, reusable or whatever it is, right? Shifting in little ways, making big impacts is really that Aquarius and Gemini, Venus, Jupiter energy. So
Yeah.
really great idea generation day. Get your
Mm.
notepad, get your notes app open on your phone and jot down any ideas that show up this day, because they're going to come in lightning fast and they're going to be great ideas. I'm not lying, but they may not make sense or resonate right now. It may be until the sun is in Aquarius the following month when it starts to make more sense. So capture the ideas and then just let them sit. You don't necessarily have to take action. This is just like idea generation. Yeah. Ooh, I like that day. Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I really love that day. All right. Then, of course, our darkest day up in the Northern Hemisphere, December 21st.
Mm.
The Yule, the winter
Yeah.
solstice, sun
Yep.
going into our Cappy friend.
Mm-hmm. So this is the shortest day of the year, and from this day on, like we always look forward to this, or the day after this in Sweden, because then that's when things start turning towards the light again. And like right now, the sun sets at around 3 p.m.
Okay.
Like it's nighttime
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
at 3 p.m.
It's about 4:30 here. So it's
Oh,
getting
so
to
very
be about,
similar.
yeah, it's getting to be about the 4 o'clock where like you need to wrap up for the day. You're losing your light fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's when the light goes, it goes quick, right? The
Yeah.
the transition between light and dark, I feel like goes quicker this time of year. Whereas in summer, the transition seems to take a while. And yeah, so this is a great day for you to really start to get into that practical, pragmatic energy of what are we going to do next year? What's the work we're going to build upon? What kind of things need our attention? It's almost like the engineer looking at the roads or the bridges to make sure there aren't any cracks or issues that need to be addressed. That's what we do during Capricorn season.
Mm.
We really start to address the issues, and then we how to fix them, and then how to climb and build more stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Make plans.
Nice. Make plan. In Sweden, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th of December.
Okay.
And on that day, we will have Jupiter in Gemini square to Saturn in Pisces. Not so
Mm,
happy that that is lining up on this date.
no.
But what can we do? So Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter to me is Santa Claus. Like Jupiter, is just like joyous, like jolly, big,
Yeah.
bringing gifts, super optimistic, getting around all the world in one night to hand out gifts. I mean, that's
Travel,
who else than Jupiter?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Saturn, it's very different to Jupiter. Saturn is like, how are you going to get there in time? How are you going to be able to do that? It's going to be heavy carrying all of those gifts.
Yeah.
Your back's going to be hurting. Do
Yeah.
you have a plan for this?
Yeah.
Um, so this is a bit of attention. Jupiter is also still in Gemini, and that's like, we would like to talk about our big plans so we can do everything. And then Saturn in Pisces is that sort of authoritative,
Bubble
but you
burster.
can't really see, yeah. But being in Pisces, that you don't really, you can't really tell where this authority figure is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Saturn in Pisces to me is also very much religion, like
Yes.
very religious um people, or like very hardcore um religious
Yep.
people, that
Structure and
you have
tradition with
to
the religion. Yep. Mm-hmm.
exactly. So yeah, it's a bit of a clash.
It is because
Um
Jupiter and Gemini, Jupiter loves to explore new ideas, new concepts, new themes, and so does Gemini. So I mean, these are forward moving energies where Saturn is not forward, but very like likes to stick to what's known, likes to stick to the rules. And then Pisces, yeah, very much can be those religious beliefs. It's the belief
yeah.
system. It's our beliefs around what bring us that peace, that sense of inner peace. And for some people, that is very much the traditional religion, and that's really where we might see some conversation clashes at the holiday table, where Jupiter and Gemini might be the younger generation talking about the new way they believe, where the older generation may be not so into hearing that today, and they don't want to hear about the
Mm.
changes and the this and the that.
Hmm.
So this could be harsh criticism. This could be your own critic in your own head, right? There's a lot of ways this can show up, but it's an interesting day for it to happen, the 24th. That's for sure.
Mm. Maybe we can all learn from each other on this day because, like we said before, squares are about those muscles that you don't really work out so much. But now you have to, sit around that table with those people that you don't meet so often. You don't really have
Yeah.
the same values, perhaps, but maybe you can learn from each other. Honestly, like we
Yeah.
can all learn from each other, and there's no escaping this transit. So let's do that.
And we have to keep in mind that Mars is still retrograde during this time. So that ego is still going to be learning how to take that humble pie. So just breathe through it, right? Like it's all right. It's just going to be uncomfortable. So on this day, Mars will be retrograded at 4 degrees, 4 degrees in Leo. So that's where Mars will be hanging out. So just kind of keep that in mind when you go to your family events.
Hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
And then we got a couple Mercury things happening December 26th. Mercury is opposite Jupiter on the 26th, and then Mercury is also square to Saturn. So the 26th is, again, the way we talk and
Hmm.
speak and, communicate is going to be a little dicey this year.
Yeah, yeah.
But the opposition to Jupiter and then the square to Saturn on the 26th is like, again, this could be foot and mouth issues, right? This definitely could be some hard time separating fact from fiction. People, family members might be spewing a lot of things that they think are fact when in reality they're not, and it can just be frustrating. It can be frustrating.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just I would take the holidays very cautiously this year. Lots of deep breaths. Lots of how do you keep yourself centered, right? Ask yourself that question and make sure, whether it's for me, I bring essential oils along and I take them out of my pocket whenever someone's talking, and I just put them on and I breathe and take some deep breaths while they're talking, and I just keep
Yeah.
looking at them and smiling, and it's my way of like staying
Yeah.
focused and centered, and not like they can have their thoughts and opinions. They don't have to throw me off of my center though, right? I can't
Exactly.
I can't control what they say, but I can control how I respond. And
Yes.
that's what these squares and oppositions on the 26th are asking us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be mindful and
Because
work out on build muscle on how you respond. And
yeah,
sometimes that means just like maybe taking a drink of water first before you say anything.
yeah, for
Yep.
sure. Yeah, because Mercury in Sag is gonna be blunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. This is I'm talking to myself too, guys. Like, don't think this is just for you. This is me talking to me. I'm great at I'm great at the foot and mouth syndrome. If you've ever known, if you know anything about me, that's my MO. I'm so good at that. Yep. All right. So Venus in Aquarius is going to be square to Uranus in Taurus on the 27th of December. So what's going to bring what energy is this going
Hmm.
to bring?
So it being a square from Uranus, I always think of nervous system, mishaps, breakdown. And this is Venus in Aquarius. So this is like your values and how you maybe look after yourself.
Your
And also
relationships?
your relationships are gonna have a difficult time. They're gonna be tested from
The day
things just
before.
shooting in, probably from the day before,
Yeah.
and your nervous system is gonna be a little overstimulated.
Yeah.
So this
And
is just focus on rest kind of day.
I really think this is Venus in Aquarius is remember we had that initiation with Pluto, so we really had to shift the way we value ourselves and shift our values, and that could look like this in real life in real time. This is an example of you recognizing your nervous system is not okay. We just had a challenging-ish energy with the last couple days, and now the 27th we have some relationship tension or we have some relationship within ourselves tension, right?
Mm,
Our relationship to the way we maybe spoke or the way we didn't speak or the way, Uncle John spoke or whatever. We're going to need to really take a shift in the way we value ourselves and give, like you said, downtime. Give yourself the space to process, the space to go for a walk and be, just be, right? Uranus and
yeah.
Taurus. What does Uranus and Taurus need to calm your nervous system? It needs Taurus time. Okay, cool. Taurus time needs time to be
Slow.
slow. Process, watch a movie, drink a
Mm.
cup of tea, journal, read a book, take a
Eat
nap,
something.
eat some food that's healthy for you, cut back on the sugar, really value yourself in a new way to calm the tension that was built from the last few days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, that's
Oof.
my advice for you the 27th. Take a day.
And yes, I think it's interesting that on December 29th, Chiron is going to move around and start going direct in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
And Chiron is the wounded healer. And this meaning that we can really begin our like healing process and put the past in the past. And I feel like there's been a lot of things coming up to the surface the days prior to this. So
Yes.
on the 29th, I feel like it's a bit of a bit of a release, you know?
Yeah. And Aries is very much like learning to stand up for yourself and learning to do you, right? The self, me, I, my needs, I. And when it was retrograde, a lot of us felt like almost like we had the rug pulled out from underneath us with our ability to defend ourselves or speak up for ourselves or take care of our own needs. And there was a lot of, I just saw a lot of readings. I had a lot of readings with people with their natal Chiron in Aries. So they are coming
Mm.
to me to do readings. I was like, oh, you're in that generation. Okay, let's chat. So really learning how to kind of wipe that slate clean, right? How to actually burn the bridge that needs to be burned and then move forward and protecting yourself. It's really Aries energy is very
Yeah.
self-preservation, self-protection. And when it was retrograde, we kind of got an opportunity to look at the ways we were doing that or not doing that. And now we get to take a step forward in the right direction. Maybe we went to the right and we needed to go to the left. Whatever works. But that's a really great energy to enter the new year with, I think, for sure.
Mm. And on this December 30th, we have a new moon in Capricorn.
Dun, dun, dun,
That's the
dun.
last transit of the month.
I like that. That
I like it
feels
too.
like a good way to end the year.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. Uh, then you have to lie down and rest for a bit with this sun, sun in Sag and Sag in Pisces.
Yep.
Then with the Venus in Aquarius square to Uranus, keep resting. And then like it lifts with Chiron going direct.
Yep.
And then you have a new moon.
Yeah.
Huh.
And new moon in Capricorn. So we get the sun and the moon lined up together in Capricorn, all about structures and foundation to move upon and build upon and grow your life upon. I really like that.
Yeah.
Feels like a great day for resolutions. I'm not usually a resolution
Yeah.
kind of girl, but this energy actually feels really aligned with that.
Yeah. No, I like this because yeah, I do feel like that this month that we now have in front of us, it's yeah, like there's a lot of Aquarius stuff, there's a lot of Venus stuff, so a lot of values and new ways of thinking,
Yep.
and probably saying a lot of things that we would try to keep to ourselves, but we just couldn't, and then there might be a little bit of drama in effect
Yep.
to that, and
We got our humble pie with Mars going retrograde.
yeah. We get that, but I feel like when things come up, like with the full moon in Gemini, things are gonna come up to the surface. We're gonna be talking about them. There's a lot of stuff coming up to the surface. That's hard work.
Yeah.
That can really, it's painful. You can feel it in your whole body,
Yeah.
and it can be quite. It can even. I mean, it can be not only painful. It can be just so it can be devastating
Mhm.
and exhausting.
Exhausting is the word I was thinking
Hmm.
of. It is exhausting. Healing, it
Yeah.
takes time. It doesn't happen in a straight line. It's usually painful and it's usually quite exhausting. You
Hmm.
usually need quite a bit of rest and sleep. And it's really looking like collectively we will need that. No matter what
Yeah.
placements are happening in your chart, this is a collective energy we're all feeling with these transits, and some of us feel it stronger than others because of our natal placements. But overall, there's a big shift coming with all of the planets, not all of them, but lots of the planets moving into Aquarius with that Pluto right there, ready to like grab you and smack you down and get you really acclimated to Aquarius. And Aquarius is not a go back energy, it is a forward moving energy. And I know this well with my friendships and values in Aquarius. When I lose a friendship, it's typically done. Like, yeah, even if I want to
Mm.
go back to it, it got lost. It's done. It's not really a go back to it kind of energy. It's a we need to keep moving forward. So I think this is going to be a little jarring for some people who aren't
Mm.
comfortable with Aquarian energy. You're not used to it,
Mm.
as Pluto initiates all of these planets as they start to enter into there now. So should be
Mm.
very intriguing. But I think overall the month feels like it's got a lot of potential for some really positive shifts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because after you do that exhausting work and you have that big cry, you open up a space, you
Yeah.
get lighter,
Yeah.
and things get easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, Chiron going direct, and we have that new moon to finish the month. So that there is that light at the end of the tunnel kind
It's
of thing.
there. We see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there.
Yes. Well, thank you for exploring December with us. I can't believe we are just wrapping up the year. It's just kind of mind
Yeah,
boggling to me.
I know.
It's been an interesting year. It's been an eventful year, and I look forward to seeing what 2025 brings. A little bit apprehensive, but I'm excited. Like right before you go on stage, right? It's like you can take that nervousness and you can turn tail and you can run out, the theater, or you can channel it into the performance and into the act. And I'm choosing to
Mm.
do that one, but it's still that nervousness before you step on stage of like, okay, what's coming?
Yeah.
So I think we get to take this month and release all of the stuff that's not serving us and then
Mm.
move forward with a new slate.
Yeah, and I wish everyone a, you know, a restful holiday season, and we understand that it can be very triggering being with people, you know, around family that you might not spend so much time with.
Yeah.
But breathe, and you know what, maybe you can learn something from Uncle John,
Right?
you know. And hopefully Uncle John can learn something from you, you know.
Ideally.
Yeah, so just go into the holiday season with maybe a focus on rest.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate this. If this was helpful for you, share it with a friend who might be in need of some guidance. We always appreciate that. The organic growth of our podcast is all thanks to you for sharing it. So thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to like and support the show by sharing with a friend or joining us on Patreon. And you can buy us a tea or coffee and financially support us. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated.